What's up, man? Welcome to my complete bulking guide for skinny guys. This is the exact step-by-step diet and training protocol I have used to bulk up from 62 kilos to 81 kilos at my peak. And I was actually lighter than 62 kilos when I first started. I had been lifting for a good few years by this point in this photo. Anyway, the first thing you need to develop is belief. Number one, belief that you can do it, and number two, belief that it is worth it. So if my story can in any way help you, that's why I'm making this video. I want to let you know a few of the things I used to do, and you may be able to relate. So I used to staple, like with a stapler, staple the sleeves of my shirts down to make the sleeves tighter, to make it look like my arms were bulging out more. I don't know if that bicep vein came from being like occluded, like I had a blood flow resistance band on me from a stapled sleeve shirt the whole time. But hey, that's something I used to do. I used to wear 2 pairs of long football socks underneath my pants on nights out to try and make it look like my calves were wider. They've always been a big insecurity for me in the past. In fact, I used to have a pair of size 26 skinny jeans that belonged to my mum, and I would wear them literally up until the age of, I believe, 20 is probably when I grew out of them. So I very much have been the quintessential skinny guy, and I've managed to develop a relatively impressive physique, winning my pro card in natural bodybuilding. I absolutely used to hate my skinny guy genetics. I always felt like no matter how much I ate, I could never gain weight, and when I did, it was never really muscle. It was more just like bloating whenever I would have really big meals consecutively. But over time, I've come to realize that the skinny guy genetics are honestly the best genetics you can have, because once you do build the muscle, because you've done it the right way, you've done it naturally, because you've done it so painstakingly, it's going to stick around. Maintaining your muscle once you get there is not massively difficult. That means you're only one big long bulk. I'm talking a few years here. One long bulk and one short cut to get rid of any excess body fat that you accumulate during that bulk, away from having literally one of the best physiques out of anyone you know. Think about all of the physiques you look up to. I've put here David Laid, Jeff Side, and this guy Tom Beckles. If you're watching this, you probably know Tom Beckles. He's more of a younger guy. Jeff Side was kind of the guy for me growing up. Not personally, but he was the guy that everyone sort of looked up to in terms of the physique. I was more of like a Joe Delaney type of guy. So maybe these guys were a bit before and after my time. Now, obviously, I can't turn you into David Laid with this one video, but I do promise to give you the entire roadmap for how I have developed my physique. So, first thing you need to do is take personal responsibility, because you are in control of your habits and your actions. Therefore, you are in control of your body. Rather than blaming your genetics or even thinking that you have bad genetics, rather than saying you don't have time to do the things you know you need to do, or thinking something won't work for you, you need to develop the new mindset where you are going to outwork your self-doubt for long enough until you get some quick wins, and that will be motivation enough, and then you'll be right on the path, right on the journey. Obviously, I can teach you everything you need to know about diet and training, but no one can eat the food or lift the weights for you. So this is your call to commit to watching this whole video and implementing the strategies I give you. Things may not be your fault. You did not choose your genetics or the food you were given growing up, or the access to resources such as weights you had access to, but things are your responsibility, and you are now in control to change them. So first thing is nutrition. There's a free calorie calculator. By the way, this is the second link in the description. You can download this PDF. You want to select gain weight, and this is going to give you a daily calorie and protein target. This is just a calorie calculator like any other you would find on the internet, but you need to start tracking your calories. If you do not track your calories, you are not taking personal responsibility. You are simply guessing. It's not enough to guess and think, yeah, I feel like I've eaten a lot today. I'm sure that's enough. You are therefore just becoming a victim to your circumstance. This is how I went from feeling like my metabolism must be broken because I felt like I was eating so much and never gaining weight, and thinking that tracking calories was just such a massive hassle, to understanding that I need to control what I put in, therefore I can control what I get out of this process. Now, you don't have to track forever, right? It's just to help you get started with gaining the weight and understanding the calories in food, because at the moment, you fundamentally don't understand calories. You feel like you're eating enough, but you're not eating enough calories. and you might be thinking, I can't eat any more food. That's okay. I'm going to teach you ways to get in more calories without having to eat more food. You need to choose low density food options. Now, I'm at a point where I could 100% maintain my physique absolutely without tracking calories ever. I just choose to because I am still competing in bodybuilding. So I need my bulks to be optimized, and then of course I need my cuts to be absolutely optimized too. You need to track your weight as many days as possible. First thing in the morning, after using the restroom, before any food or liquid, each and every day, or as many days as possible. Because the thing with tracking your calories is we're just using that as a tool to drive your weight in the direction we want it to go, right? You are looking to gain 0.2 to 0.4% of your body weight per week. If this is for you, you're a skinny guy, this is not for your friends. Some of your friends need to gain at a slower rate. You need to gain at 0.2 to 0.4% of your body weight per week. So again, you can get my free weight tracker tool. You can log your weights. It will calculate your average, and then it will calculate your gain across the week. So if this person was a beginner, we want 0.4% rate of gain per week. See, we've got 0.09%. It's not enough. So we would increase calories. The following week, I'd be doing that by 200. If the person's a bit more advanced, like me, where I am now after lifting for about 15 years, I still want about 0.2% during a bulk. I'm still under that at 0.09%, but I would be increasing calories by 100. Now, you can choose whether you want to track calories and protein or track all three macros. If you find it really difficult, just track calories and protein. The thing is, if you're really concerned with staying lean, which you shouldn't be, by the way, you shouldn't be worried about that. You need to know that it is easier for the human body to convert carbs into body fat than carbs. It's a 95% conversion of when you eat fats, 95% of it gets converted into body fat, right? And when you eat carbs, it's only 75 to 80% because there's a few more things your body can use carbs for. Now, it's still calories in, calories out. At the end of the day, you don't need to worry about which macro specifically, but taking a higher carbohydrate approach is definitely going to serve you the best up until the point where you physically can't get any more carbs down. So we'll talk about that moving forward. Right, if you are a true hard gainer, like I have been, you do not need to necessarily bother managing your carbs and fats. So you've been doing macro tracking, you're really struggling, you're finding that it's very, very hard to maintain a moderate protein, high carb, somewhat low fat approach. Cool, don't even worry about your carbs and fats, just eat enough calories. And protein too, but mostly just calories. Because if you're a true hard gainer, you're going to be eating 3,000, 3,500, 4,000 calories plus. Your protein is going to be sorted. You probably only need 150 grams of protein max anyway. So focus on calories and protein. Focus on calories. I know you all think protein builds muscle, which it does, but if you don't gain 20 pounds, then you're not going to gain 10 to 15 pounds of muscle, right? You can't main gain there. Again, some of your friends probably can. People who gain weight a bit easier, they probably can main gain their way into a better physique. You're a skinny guy, you're a hard gainer, you need to gain weight. You want your protein around 1.6 gram per kg of body weight. Some people will tell you 2.2 grams per kg, which is like 1 gram per pound. The thing is, if you're doing that, protein's so satiating, it's going to keep you really full. We know that you probably maximize your muscle growth response from protein at 1.6 gram per kg. Anything more is like playing it on the safe side. If you want to play it on the safe side, you can. But if you're really struggling to just get all of the food, all of the calories in, bring your protein down a little bit. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but this is what us skinny guys need to do to just get the calories in. Right, more fatty foods. Remember we were talking before about how fats get more converted easily to body fat, and if you're really worried about staying lean, you should go for a high carb approach. Cool. If you're a true hard gainer, like I was, you don't need to be thinking like that. You need to just be thinking, how can I get the calories in any way possible? So more fatty foods. Olive oil is the go because you can add it to anything. Natural nut butters, avocados. Avocados have fiber, so you're going to struggle to put down, 5 to 10 of them back. Not that you would have that many, but these two are a bit more calorically dense. Now, as much as I've talked about don't worry about your carbs and fats, you do want to have carbs in your pre-workout meal. I recommend for you fruit juice or Gatorade, something that's very, very easy to get down a lot of carbs. Never skip breakfast. As a skinny guy, you can never skip breakfast because you're going to get to the point, I know you've got no hunger, you've got no appetite. You could go to 3 o'clock without eating, but if you do that, then you're going to have to backload so many of your calories. You're going to feel so sick. You're not going to be able to get to sleep. That's going to affect your appetite. The next day, you're going to be not hungry again, and it's just going to be a vicious cycle that you're going to get stuck in. So never skip breakfast. Liquid calories, it's so much easier to drink 1,000 calories than it is to eat them. So you're thinking smoothies. Oats, nut butter, honey, protein powder, fruits, dark chocolate. That's such an easy way to get lots of calories in. Plus, healthy foods too, right? We're going to throw in some berries, some fruit. We're still going to get a lot of our macros. You want to be thinking mince instead of steak, because we want to eat foods that are just easier to chew. The harder something is to chew, the longer it's going to take to eat, the more filling, the more satiating it is. So that's a really good thing for any of our friends who need to lose weight, lose body fat. But for you, it's not a good thing. You need to think, how can I get this down as easily as possible? Eating at the same time each day really helps sync your body up with a biorhythm. And so it starts to almost get you hungry at certain times based on when you've typically been eating. Plan tomorrow today, right? You need to make sure that you've got all of your food ready for tomorrow and cooked, ready to go, and also with enough calories. It's not enough to just meal prep and just, oh, well, I've cooked some chicken and I've cooked some rice, so, this is going to be okay. Like, you need to be in a calorie surplus to gain the weight, right? So you need to plan tomorrow today. You also need to have high calorie snacks at your work or study. Dried fruit and nuts, that's the jam. That's the one you want to have. Rice is a great carb source for you in a bulk because it digests very, very easily. So you're typically hungry again in a few hours already, and it's always calorie density. More calories, less food. That's always what you're thinking. Here's a bit of a bulking grocery list. And if you really care about keeping your abs, then we just want 150 to 250 calories above your maintenance, not higher. Again, you're a true skinny guy. You don't need to worry about that. You need to worry about gaining weight. There's some bulking meal plans for you. Now, when it comes to training, a big mistake skinny guys make is following the programs of like the naturally bigger guys, especially guys on gear. What works for them does not necessarily work as well for you, or as well for us, I should say. So you can access my skinny guy workouts here. For us skinny guys, it is really important. It is very, very important to use stable exercises so that the target muscle actually becomes the limiting factor. So what do I mean by this? When you're doing a barbell squat, you want big legs, right? You want big quads. That's what you want out of that exercise. I don't think you want a big lower back and glutes, right? It's okay. It's not a bad thing, but that's not your goal with that exercise. What's the reason you had to stop the set the last time you did barbell squats? Can you say for sure it was because your quads gave out? They failed, they'd had enough, they were pushed to their failure point? Probably not. More likely, sorry, there's a plane going overhead. More likely it was your lack of internal stability, it was your bracing, it was your lower back, it was your glutes. All of that gave out before your quads. That's why we need to opt for more stable exercises so we can ensure the quads are the limiting factor. That's how we're going to get them growing the most. At the end of the day, it's all just about progressive overload. Everything comes back to progressive overload at the end of the day. We need to provide enough stimulus in the gym and then recover, right? So enough time away from training that muscle again, sleep, enough calories and protein, and that's how we're going to see the adaptation. And that adaptation is muscle growth. This is the rep match or beat formula I like for progressive overload. Let's say you're doing 3 sets of 5 to 8 reps. Week 1, you do 100 kilos and you get 7, 6, 5 reps. Why are the reps going down from set to set? That's because they should be. If you can get all 3 sets for 7 reps, then that means you did not train hard enough in set number 1 because there was no fatigue accumulated by set number 2. So you should always be seeing a drop-off in reps from set to set, especially if you're doing like 3 or 4 sets of an exercise, unless you're doing a specific program like Wendler 531 or Stronglift 5x5 or something like that. That's different. I'm talking hypertrophy muscle growth training here, where you're doing 3 sets to failure on a machine that's really, really stable. You should be seeing a drop-off like 7, 6, 5. Now you're going to add weight or add reps. I would add reps until I hit the top of the rep range. So then I'm going to go 100. I'm going to stay there. And instead of getting 7, 6, 5 the next week, I'm going to aim and I'm going to get 8, 7, 6. So I'm going to beat myself by 1 rep on the previous week. Then, because I've got to the top of the rep range for one of the sets, right? My rep range was 5 to 8, and then I got 8 reps on the first set. All right, next week I'm going to increase the weight. I'm going to go up to 105. Because it's quite a bit heavier, now I can only get 6 reps, then 5 reps, then 4 reps. That's okay. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. And then I'll stay at that weight again and just keep increasing reps. This is the secret, the constant progression as often as possible. So, here's your summary, right? Take personal responsibility, get your calories and or macros, start tracking your nutrition, your diet through MyFitnessPal, make sure you're in a calorie surplus. Track your weight. Make sure you're getting 0.2 to 0.4% of your body weight per week. That's how you know you're in a calorie surplus, by the way. And so if your weight isn't increasing, that's when you increase your calories to make sure you do start gaining weight. And then you're going to make those adjustments week on week to continue gaining at the right rate. This is exactly what any good coach would do for you if you were in their program. You're also going to be hypertrophy training, so you can get my free 12-week program there, and you can use the meal plans as well, which I have created for you. This is exactly how I've added 20 kilos of lean weight to my skinny frame, and then I've also stripped off 15 kilos of body fat to get absolutely shredded and win my natural bodybuilding competition. So with that being said, there are hundreds of mistakes that you could make along the way, even within this relatively simple framework. I have made them all. That's why it took me over 10 frustrating years to finally discover how to build my dream body. It will not take you nearly as long. I still remember the days of stapling my shirt sleeves together to try and make my arms look bigger, and I wish I had started using these methods sooner instead of wasting literally thousands of workouts because I did not have my diet in check. That was the big thing for me, right? I was always working out hard, and I was never in a calorie surplus. So if you'd rather skip the frustration of trying to do this on your own, of constantly taking one step forward, one step back, getting pissed off you're not seeing results, wasting years like I did, and instead avoid all of the mistakes and bullshit, get daily accountability from a coach like me who walks the walk, along with guaranteed results, or you don't pay, just like Kurt, who bulked up by 7 kilos without gaining any excess body fat, and then shred down to reveal a very impressive physique. Or Harley, who gained 10 kilos with almost no body fat accrual and then cut down to reveal, again, a freaking awesome physique. This is what I do, right? I either take guys, skinny fat guys, through a cut and then I bulk them up, or I take skinny guys through a long bulk and then I cut them down and we reveal an incredible physique underneath. Right, you can inquire about my online physique coaching program, my science-based methods pack on muscle and strip off fat fast. I'm going to teach you what to eat for your body and when to eat it. I'm going to give you the right exercises for you and teach you how to do them correctly. I'm going to give you the accountability 7 days a week. When we put this all together, you literally cannot fuck this up. I'll hold you accountable every step of the way, every single day. If you would like to inquire or get more information about my coaching program, head to the first link in the description. That's the video for the day, boys. I'll see you tomorrow.